Over 250 2015 trucks have got to go during the Silverado Sell-Down event at 5-Star Chevy Cadillac Buick GMC, your #1 full-size truck dealer. New Silverado Double Cab, well-equipped, just $23,900. Silverado Crew Cab, loaded, $27,900. And Silverado Heavy Duty Crew Cab 4x4, only $33,900. Visit drive5star.com. We're 5-Star Chevy Cadillac Buick GMC. Experience the difference. Next to the base in Warner Robins. Drive5star.com.
And I've been telling you all night long that we want to get a perspective from our female racing family members, those that have been a part of racing for a long time. And this young lady right here, she comes from a great family. Not only a racing family, but just overall good people. And we're joined right now by a young lady that lives down in our neck of the woods. Her name is Morgan Fordham. Morgan, it's good to have you with us tonight, sis.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now listen, I told you that we don't always talk about just racing here on the Deep Dixie Racing Report. Let me kind of set this up, and I'm going to let Morgan tell us more. Her father is named Jim Fordham. And Jim has been a stalwart, I mean an absolute legend in dirt track racing, late model dirt track racing in our area. And then Morgan's brother, he's 16 years old, Will's 16, right?
Yes.
And he recently started racing in what we call the Junior Enduros at Cochran. He didn't make it out in the initial first 4 or 5 races, but he got his car ready. He come out there and he's been racing with us for probably the last 3 or 4 times. He absolutely caught on very quickly and has done very well at it. And Morgan, I know that first of all, before we go any farther, Dale was telling me that your dad Jim had to go back and they're doing a little more work on him. Just in a snapshot, give us an idea how your dad, how your mom's doing.
Well, Dad's doing pretty good. He wasn't expecting to have to stay today, of course. He's had an appointment, and then they found out that his heart rate was a lot too fast. So they had to, they told him that they were going to do a cardio version, and so they're going to do that in the morning. Okay,
and that's basically, in layman's terms, just getting your heart back in rhythm the way it needs to be. So, you know, we don't, naturally, we would never ever disclose anything of a personal nature, but I knew Morgan didn't care, and I know Jim wouldn't care. Keep Jim in your prayers. A great guy. Just some pretty much maintenance work when you've had some work done on your heart, and like she said, wasn't expecting for it to turn into an overnight thing, but I know that all's going to be well. Morgan, you're here on behalf of your family here tonight, and first of all, with your dad racing and being a winner and a big part of the racing community, what are your earliest memories of racing, and how far back can you remember going to the dirt track?
Oh gosh, I've been going to the dirt track really when I was in Mama's belly. You know, I've always gone, even when I was really little. I can always remember just getting ready on Saturday morning and going to the racetrack. When I got older is when I really started to understand how racing worked, and so I would always help Daddy on Saturdays when we would get the car ready, but so I've been in it forever.
For those of you that are just tuning in, thank you for visiting with us on the Deep Dixie Racing Report. We're joined right now live in the restaurant here by Miss Morgan Fordham, and Morgan is the daughter of Jim Fordham, a late model dirt racer down in our area, and she's the older sister of Will Fordham. Now, Morgan, we talked about with Pam how it felt to be at the racetrack when you got a loved one racing. Did you ever find yourself being outright scared and nervous when your dad was racing?
All the time. All the time. You know, you really don't understand it until you have somebody out there racing that you know that you're really related to. But I'm always nervous. You just always. Okay,
now it's actually been a while since Jim has actually, you know, been actively racing. I remember seeing Jim come back and run a race 2 or 3 years ago, but as far as the actual lion's share of his racing, I think that it's probably in the past, and man, does he ever have a legacy. Now looking forward, and you've got a 16-year-old brother, how does it differ, you being adult now, watching your little brother race versus your father, how does that differ?
Well, I thought I was nervous when I watched my daddy race, but it is nothing compared to my little brother because he is my top priority, and so I'm probably overprotective of him, but really he may be taller than me by about 2 foot, but I will always be his big sister. So it's a lot more nerve-wracking with Will in that I didn't get to watch Daddy learn how to race. And I'm watching Will grow from week to week. And so it's it's dangerous no matter what class you're in. But I'm more nervous with wanting him to do well in each week. So and it's really, I've loved watching him week to week, just, watching his confidence build in himself. So.
Now, is it just you and Will, and that you are the only 2 children? That's what I thought, and before I just said that, I wanted to make sure there wasn't a brother or sister. Now, I can tell you, watching the races with the Junior Enduro, I got to tell you, I've got to admit, I get nervous. I really do. I have a lot of friends that race out there, and as you mentioned, it is dangerous. I mean, sometimes. And thankful to the good Lord, almost never does anything bad happen. I mean, but we all know that there's the chance that it can. And I got to tell you, man, just a few weeks ago, actually one of the last races we had, what might be one of the most frightening things I've ever seen down there. Were you there that night?
I was there.
What was the rest of your night like after that?
Very nerve-wracking. Seeing, I couldn't even imagine being in the position that his family was in, because I know if my brother were in that position, you're supposed to stay away, but you want to get him out. So I was nervous the entire night.
Yeah. Good answer, man. I tell you that it was kind of hard to put into words. Thank you for tuning in tonight to the Deep Dixie Racing Report. This is part 1 of the Pink Edition, meaning that we are focusing on female members of our racing family. And I'm joined right now live here in the restaurant by Miss Morgan Fordham. She is the older sister of Will Fordham, who's just beginning his racing career in the Junior Enduro division. Her dad is a legend, Jim Fordham. And so she's been around this, as she said, since she was in her mother's belly. And so if anybody ought to know, it ought to be her. Now, Morgan, not too long ago, the thought of a female driver actually being taken seriously and maybe even being accepted and not ridiculed, that was something that would have been almost an impossibility just really in recent memory in your lifetime. And now you're how old?
20.
You're 20 years old, okay. At 20 years old, growing up with a racing father, seeing how that your brother has began racing, did you ever have any desire to race yourself, or have you?
Yes. What kind of question is that?
Wait a minute now, I'm getting a whole lot of feedback over here from this part. Maybe we need to dig into this a little more. Now tell me about this.
Well, really, up until a couple weeks ago, I was a little salty about the whole situation because I thought I would always be the one racing. I was always out there with Daddy from week to week watching, but I guess he just couldn't get his little girl in a racetrack out there, thinking I can't handle myself.
Okay, let me translate that to our viewers. You are bent because your little brother got to race and not you.
Very much so.
I knew it. I'm not even a mind reader. Well, listen, there's enough cars floating around middle Georgia. I'm sure that there's one out there that there may be even somebody watching right now that maybe wants to put Morgan Fordham behind the wheel. Are you down?
I'm down like 4 flat tires. I would, yay. Hey, Morgan Fordham here. Put me in a race.
I hear you, girl. Seriously, have you ever been around with your dad's car and having so many friends? Have you ever even went out and practiced or anything?
Not one.
What has been your role on the team? Like Pam said that she was, in the beginning, a little nervous, and then she found her role, and then it became certain rituals that they tried to keep going. You said that you would be at the shop with your dad and all that. I mean, seriously speaking, obviously the ropes. I mean, you can check tire pressure. You can do this. What are some of the things you've done on your dad's car?
Oh gosh, everything. I'm the reason that car runs. But no, no. But I do. Whatever he needs me to do, like rivets. That's real simple to do. I helped him with his battery one time. Just checking everything out, making sure it's good. Really, I'm the supervisor, head boss in charge, you can say.
Okay. So, have you ever gave him any input on setups?
Setups. Well, I try, but me being a girl and all, I guess he doesn't realize that I know more than
Okay. We're joined right now by Morgan Fordham. Her dad is Jim Fordham, and man, I'm gonna tell you, memories that I have of your dad. Jim was a baller on the track, man. I mean, and Jim was just smooth. It just seemed like he just had his own way of doing things, and Jim was a winner. Being close enough to your dad and being close enough to your family like that, and seeing it, I mean, literally your entire life. When Jim, when his health started declining and things started happening, what was it like as his daughter? I mean, how did that really impact your dad when it became clear that his racing was going to have to slow down?
It was extremely hard for him, and even still, I know he raced a couple of years ago and had to stop again because of his heart. And what got him out there was, every weekend I said, Daddy, come on, let's go to the racetrack, let's go. And, he never would because he knew that if he went out to that racetrack, he would want to race for it. So I finally got him to go one Saturday, and he said, I can't do it anymore. He got that full sensation, and so he started back, and his heart started declining. And then when Will started back racing, I figured it would be really, really hard for him to go because it is, seeing something that you love and you can't do it. So it was really hard for him, I know. And word has it that he might be getting another one. Maybe, I hope.
Another late model?
Well, I don't know about late model.
Okay.
But maybe another car, I hope.
All right. Now, if once that comes down, I want us to break the story here on the Deep Dixie Racing Report. We good with that?
We are good with that.
All
We
right.
might have to take some counseling or something if both of them are racing.
I hear you. I want to change gears before I let you out of here, Morgan. And by the way, you're doing a great job. I love I love to have fun. I really do. Sometimes we take ourselves so serious, and I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll tell you right now. I'm just still trying to figure it out. But I appreciate the energy you bring. Your grandfather, Mr. Buddy Williams, is Buddy and Colleen watching tonight?
I imagine.
Mr. Buddy and Colleen, if y'all are watching, I love you and I appreciate our friendship. Your granddad and your grandma are some of the coolest people I've met, and they're Morgan's grandparents, Buddy and Colleen Williams, live down in Lawrence County. They've got a beautiful, beautiful home with this beautiful acreage of land that is just awesome, and deer running across the field. Got a lake down there that is the best fishing in the world, and I became friends with Mr. Buddy, I don't know how long ago, 5 years ago maybe or something, and he really has become a good friend of mine. And Mr. Buddy, if you're watching, thank you for all the good times, man, you've allowed me to share coming down to your pond. I'm telling you what, man, that is a trophy bass lake, and I've got the pictures to prove it, is what I'm talking about. But I know that Mr. Buddy, just in the last year, really, he had some things happening too, and I talked to you a little bit before you came up during the break, and from where I'm standing, Mr. Buddy is the same old Mr. Buddy. I don't see any kind of side effects or anything for him. He's still doing good, right?
He is doing very good.
Very good. All right. Well, Morgan, it has been a pleasure talking to you, sis, and maybe sometime in the near future you can come back down here. And Dale, what do you think about, Brian, what do you guys think about in the Deep Dixie Racing Report, maybe during the break, we mix in a little comedy segment with Morgan? What do y'all think?
Hey, she's already.
Are y'all down with that?
This is how this got started. She did a Ricky Bobby on me over there the other night doing the interview.
Okay.
I went to ask her a question. She just took the microphone away from me.
Okay.
Hey, I was kind of sad. At least you can have one tonight and it get taken away.
Yeah, brother wasn't saying much, so she took over.
All right. Well, Morgan, is there any parting words that you want to share with us? Is there anything that maybe we didn't get to? real quick, who is actually helping out with the car? I mean, I know this Junior Enduro, you know, they're getting started, but I'm guessing it's